the shadows of our world, a sinister force is gathering strength, and it's no longer lurking in the dark. Imagine a leader emerging from the chaos, a figure cloaked in charisma and authority, ready to reshape our reality. What if I told you that this isn't just a theory, but a ticking clock? As the signs of the times become clearer, the stage is set for something monumental. Have you ever felt a chill run down your spine when considering the prophecies? They're not just ancient tales, they are blueprints of the future. Picture this: global leader, backed by a system designed to control, manipulate, and reshape humanity. Who will stand against this force? Will we even recognize the truth when it stares us in the face? This isn't just a story, it's a warning. The veil is lifting, and the pieces are falling into place. As you connect the dots, remember, the truth is often buried beneath layers of deception. Stay alert. The New World Order is not a distant fantasy. It's knocking at our door, and soon the identity of its leader will be unveiled. What will you do when the moment arrives? Rise of new leadership. In recent years, we've witnessed a fascinating shift in global leadership dynamic. New leaders are emerging, often challenging the traditional power structures that have dominated politics and governance for decades. These individuals often come from diverse backgrounds, bringing fresh perspectives and approaches to leadership. What's striking is how many of them don't fit the mold of a conventional leader, often lacking the typical political pedigree or elite education that one might expect. Instead, they come from varied experiences, including grassroots activism, business innovation, and even social media stardom. One common trait among these new leaders is their ability to connect with people on a personal level. They often leverage their own stories of struggle and success to resonate with the masses. This relatability is crucial in today's fast-paced world, where individuals are increasingly seeking authenticity over polished political rhetoric. Leaders like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in the U.S. have shown that a strong personal narrative can galvanize support and mobilize audiences, especially among younger generations who crave change. Moreover, the rise of these leaders is often accompanied by a challenge to established norms and practices. For instance, many are willing to confront controversial issues head-on, whether it be climate change, social justice, or economic inequality. This willingness to tackle tough subjects has made them popular among those who feel unheard, traditional politicians. It's a refreshing departure from the often cautious and calculated approaches of the past, and it resonates deeply in a time when people are frustrated with the status quo. Another characteristic that sets these new leaders apart is their adaptability. In the shadows of our world, a sinister force is gathering strength, and it's no longer lurking in the dark. Imagine a leader emerging from the chaos, a figure cloaked in charisma and authority, ready to reshape our reality. What if I told you that this isn't just a theory, but a ticking clock? As the signs of the times become clearer, the stage is set for something monumental. Have you ever felt a chill run down your spine when considering the prophecies? They're not just ancient tales, they are blueprints of the future. Picture this: a global leader, backed by a system designed to control, manipulate, and reshape humanity. Who will stand against this force? Will we even recognize the truth when it stares us in the face? This isn't just a story, it's a warning. The veil is lifting, and the pieces are falling into place. As you connect the dots, remember, the truth is often buried beneath layers of deception. Stay alert. The New World Order is not a distant fantasy. It's knocking at our door, and soon, the identity of its leader will be unveiled. What will you do when the moment arrives? Rise of new leadership. In recent years, we've witnessed a fascinating shift in global leadership dynamics. New leaders are emerging, often challenging the traditional power structures that have dominated politics and governance for decades. These individuals often come from diverse backgrounds, bringing fresh perspectives and approaches to leadership. What's striking is how many of them don't fit the mold of the conventional leader, often lacking the typical political pedigree or elite education that one might expect. Instead, they come from varied experiences, including grassroots activism, business innovation, and even social media stardom. One common trait among these new leaders is their ability to connect with people on a personal level. They often leverage their own stories of struggle and success to resonate with the masses. This relatability is crucial in today's fast-paced world, where individuals are increasingly seeking authenticity over polished political rhetoric. Leaders like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez in the U.S. have shown that a strong personal narrative can galvanize support and mobilize audiences, especially among younger generations who crave change. Moreover, the rise of these leaders is often accompanied by a challenge to established norms and practices. For instance, many are willing to confront controversial issues head-on, whether it be climate change, social justice, or economic inequality. This willingness to tackle tough subjects has made them popular among those who feel unheard by traditional politicians. It's a refreshing departure from the often cautious and calculated approaches of the past, and it resonates deeply in a time when people are frustrated with the status quo. Another characteristic that sets these new leaders apart is their adaptability. In a world that rapidly evolves due to technological advancements and shifting societal values, these leaders are quick to pivot and embrace new ideas. They often engage directly with their constituents through social media platforms, allowing for a two-way communication that traditional leaders rarely achieved. This direct line of communication not only builds trust, but also fosters a sense of community among supporters, creating a loyal base that is essential for their success. Finally, the rise of new leadership is not just a trend. It reflects a broader societal shift towards inclusivity and diversity. The new leaders often champion underrepresented voices, advocating for policies that promote equity and justice. This focus on inclusivity is vital, as it helps to dismantle long-standing barriers in politics and encourages a more representative governance that reflects the population's true makeup. Technology and information. We can't talk about the emergence of new leaders without addressing the critical role technology plays in this transformation. The advent of social media has revolutionized how information is disseminated and consumed. Platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok have become powerful tools for these leaders, enabling them to reach a wide audience without the need for traditional media intermediaries. This democratization of information has allowed for a new breed of influencers to rise, often bypassing established political figures and gaining traction based purely on their ability to connect and communicate. The impact of technology is particularly pronounced in how these leaders craft their narratives. In the past, a political figure would rely heavily on press releases and media coverage to shape their public persona. Now, individuals can curate their own messages in real time, responding to events and public sentiment almost instantly. This agility allows them to stay relevant and engaged, which is crucial in a world where attention spans are short and trends can change overnight. Moreover, the accessibility of information means that these leaders can mobilize support more effectively. A single viral post can rally thousands of people to a cause within hours, showcasing the power of digital platforms to drive social movements. For instance, the Black Lives Matter movement gained international attention largely due to the rapid spread of information on social media. Leaders emerging from such movements often gain significant influence and visibility, establishing themselves as key figures in the fight for change. However, this reliance on technology is a double-edged sword. While it provides opportunities for engagement and influence, it also exposes leaders to immense scrutiny and backlash. The same platforms that can elevate a leader can also be used to spread misinformation or attack their credibility. Conclusion: the emergence of new leadership, driven by technology and popular movements, marks a significant shift in how we understand power and influence in contemporary society. These leaders, often characterized by their relatability and adaptability, are reshaping the political landscape in ways that challenge traditional norms. As technology continues to evolve and movements gain traction, the dynamics of leadership will likely continue to transform, presenting both opportunities and challenges for those who seek to lead in this new era. Changes in geopolitics. When we look at the current geopolitical landscape, it's hard not to notice how rapidly things are shifting. The traditional powerhouses are no longer the only players in the game. New nations are emerging, and existing ones are re-evaluating their positions on the global stage. This realignment has opened doors for new leaders who can navigate these tumultuous waters. Just think about how the rise of countries like India and Brazil has diversified global influence. Suddenly, we're not just looking at a world where the US and Europe hold all the cards. Other countries are stepping up and asserting their own agendas. Moreover, crises often act as catalysts for change. Economic downturns, environmental disasters, and social unrest can expose the inadequacies of established leadership, making room for new faces and ideas. For instance, the Arab Spring is a prime example of how public dissatisfaction can lead to the rise of new leaders who promise reform and change. It's a reminder that when the status quo fails to deliver, people are willing to rally around alternative leaders who seem more in tune with their needs and aspirations. This environment of change can be both exhilarating and daunting. New leaders often emerge with fresh perspectives and innovative solutions, but they also face significant challenges. The existing structures of power are not going to give up easily. They resist change and often push back against new ideas. Yet it's precisely this tension can propel new leaders into the spotlight. They find themselves in a position to challenge norms and offer alternatives that resonate with a populace hungry for change. Geopolitical shifts also bring about new alliances and rivalry. As countries adjust to this new landscape, leaders are finding unexpected partnerships that can amplify their influence. The rise of coalitions among nations that share similar values or goals is fascinating. For example, the growing importance of climate change has led to new alliances between countries that prioritize sustainability. Leaders who understand these dynamics can leverage them to strengthen their positions and enact meaningful change. Ultimately, the changes in geopolitics create a fertile ground for new leaders to emerge. They are often the ones who can read the room, understand the emerging trends, and capitalize on opportunities that others might overlook. In this climate of uncertainty, those who can articulate a vision for the future stand a good chance of rallying support and making a lasting impact. Challenges and opportunities. However, with great opportunity comes formidable challenges. New leaders are often up against entrenched systems that resist change. These established structures have their own interests and agendas, and they can be incredibly difficult to navigate. For instance, think about how political parties often push back against new ideas that threaten their status quo. It's a classic case of the old guard trying to maintain control, and it can be frustrating for those who are eager to make a difference. One significant challenge these new leaders face is the question of legitimacy. In many cases, they come from non-traditional backgrounds or movements that lack the established credentials typically required for leadership. This can lead to skepticism from both the public and the existing political elite. Gaining trust is a monumental task, and without it, even the most charismatic leader can struggle to enact change. They have to work tirelessly to prove themselves and demonstrate that they have the best interests of the people at heart. Another hurdle is the rapid pace of communication and information flow in today's world. Social media can be a double-edged sword for new leaders. On one hand, it provides a platform to reach a wide audience quickly. On the other, it can amplify dissent and criticism at an unprecedented scale. Single misstep can be magnified and spread like wildfire, undermining the credibility they are trying to build. New leaders have to be adept at managing their public image while staying true to their principles. Yet, amidst these challenges, there are undeniable opportunities. The very dissatisfaction that fuels resistance can also be a source of motivation for change. People are often eager to support leaders who resonate with their frustrations and aspiration. New leaders can tap into this energy to mobilize grassroots movements and push for reform. It's about harnessing the collective will of the people and translating it into actionable change. Additionally, the global landscape is ripe for collaboration. New leaders can look to each other for support and inspiration. By forming networks of like-minded individuals, they can share strategies, resources, and ideas. This interconnectedness can be a powerful tool in overcoming challenges and amplifying their impact. In a world that feels increasingly fragmented, the ability to unite around common goals can be transformative. Impact of globalization. Globalization is another crucial factor shaping the emergence of new leaders. The world is more connected than ever before, creating an environment where ideas, cultures, and movements can transcend borders. This interconnectedness allows for the rapid spread of new ideologies and practices that can inspire leaders in various regions. Take, for example, the global climate movement. Leaders in one country can be influenced by the successes and failures of their counterparts elsewhere, leading to innovative approaches that might not have emerged in isolation. Moreover, globalization has made it easier for grassroots movements to gain international attention and support. In the past, local issues might have remained localized due to geographical barriers. Now, a protest in one part of the world can resonate with people thousands of miles away, leading to solidarity actions and global awareness. This phenomenon has empowered new leaders by providing them with a platform to amplify their messages and connect with a broader audience. It's a reminder that we are all part of a larger narrative, and local issues can have global implications. However, globalization also brings its own set of challenges. As leaders emerge on the global stage, they must navigate the complexities of international relations and competing interests. The interconnectedness that allows for collaboration can also lead to conflict and competition. New leaders must be adept at balancing local needs with global pressures, often finding themselves in a delicate dance between the two. It's a challenging position, but those who can do it effectively stand to gain significant influence. Furthermore, globalization has raised questions about cultural identity and sovereignty. New leaders must be conscious of the diverse perspectives and values that exist within their constituency. They have to find ways to honor local traditions while also embracing the benefits of global interconnected. This balancing act can be tricky, but leaders who can navigate it successfully often emerge as more credible and respected figures. In essence, globalization is reshaping the landscape of leadership. It's creating opportunities for collaboration, knowledge sharing, and collective action, while also posing challenges that require a nuanced understanding of both local and global dynamics. Those who can harness the power of globalization while remaining grounded in their communities are likely to emerge as transformative leaders in this new era. Visions and ideology. As I reflect on the rise of new global leaders, one of the most striking aspects is the diverse range of ideologies they promote. Unlike their predecessors, who often adhered to well-defined political doctrines, these emerging figures are crafting unique blends of ideas that resonate with a broader audience. For instance, many of them champion inclusivity and social justice while simultaneously advocating for environmental sustainability. This fusion of progressive ideals is not just a response to current events. It's a strategic positioning in a world that is increasingly polarized. They understand that the traditional left-right spectrum often fails to capture the complexities of modern issues. Moreover, these leaders are leveraging grassroots movements as part of their ideological framework. They often start from local concerns, addressing issues like affordable housing, climate change, and racial equality. It's fascinating to see how movements such as Black Lives Matter or the Fridays for Future climate strikes have influenced their thinking. They harness the energy and urgency of these movements, translating grassroots demands into broader political narrative. This approach not only legitimizes their ideologies, but also creates a sense of shared ownership among their support. Another noteworthy aspect is the emphasis on transparency and accountability. Many of these leaders are advocating for open governance, calling for systems that allow for citizen participation and scrutiny. This is a stark contrast to the often opaque decision-making processes of traditional leaders. By promoting ideologies that prioritize transparency, they are tapping into a deep-seated desire among the populace for more democratic engagement. Their vision is not just about policy changes, it's about reshaping the very fabric of political engagement. The rise of populism is also a critical component of the ideologies promoted by these new leaders. They often position themselves as champions of common people, directly challenging established elites. This populist rhetoric is powerful. It resonates with those who feel left behind by globalization and technological advancement. While traditional leaders may have relied on technocratic solutions, these new figures are more inclined to appeal to emotions and collective identity. This emotional connection can be a double-edged sword, as it can both unite and polarize. Lastly, the ideologies of these emerging leaders are often reflexive, evolving in real time as they respond to global events. They are more agile in their thinking, adapting their platforms based on social media feedback and real-world developments. This flexibility allows them to stay relevant and connected to their constituent. But it also raises questions about consistency and long-term vision. In a world where information travels at lightning speed, the ability to pivot is invaluable. Yet it can sometimes lead to ideological vagueness or perceived opportunism. Future of governance. When we talk about the future of governance in light of the rise of new leaders, it's hard not to feel a sense of excitement mixed with apprehension. These leaders are not just reshaping policies, they are fundamentally altering the way governance is perceived and practiced. One of the most significant changes is the shift towards participatory governance. New leaders often advocate for mechanisms that allow citizens to have a direct say in decision-making processes. Whether through town hall meetings, online polls, or community forums, the goal is to create a more inclusive political environment. Additionally, the use of technology is redefining governance. With the rise of digital platforms, these leaders are capable of engaging with their constituents in real time. They can respond to concerns, share information, and mobilize support with unprecedented speed. This immediate feedback loop is transforming traditional bureaucratic processes, making governance more dynamic and responsive. However, this also raises questions about digital equity. Not everyone has equal access to technology, and thus, not everyone can participate in this new governance model. Moreover, the emphasis on accountability and transparency is likely to redefine how we understand political legitimacy. As these leaders push for more open and accountable systems, the expectation for traditional institutions to adapt is growing. Citizens are increasingly demanding that their leaders be held accountable for their actions in ways that were not previously considered. This could lead to a power shift, where established institutions may have to reckon with a more informed and engaged populace. The global interconnectedness brought about by globalization also complicates the future of governance. As these new leaders find themselves navigating international issues, be it climate change, trade, or migration, they are often forced to adopt a more collaborative approach. This means that governance will likely become less about unilateral decision-making and more about building coalitions and partnerships across borders. The challenges we face today are not confined to national boundaries. Therefore, the solutions will require a level of cooperation that traditional governance structures have struggled to achieve. Lastly, the potential for disruption cannot be ignored. With the emergence of new leaders and their innovative approaches, there is a real possibility that we may witness a reconfiguration of political landscapes. Established parties and institutions may find themselves at a crossroads, needing to either adapt or risk becoming obsolete. The future of governance, in this sense, is a canvas still being painted, with new leaders bringing colors and strokes that challenge the status quo. It's a thrilling, albeit uncertain, journey ahead as we navigate these transformative changes. As we dive deeper into these revelations, it's crucial to remember that the signs are all around us. The leaders of the new world, disguised in shadows, are stepping into the light. Have you noticed how their messages echo the prophecies foretold? It's as if the script is being played out right before our eyes. But here's the question: are we ready to face the truth? The world may seem chaotic, but in that chaos lies a divine plan unfolding. Each event, every headline is a piece of a grand puzzle, and we are called to be vigilant. So what role do you play in this story? Will you stand firm in your faith and discern the truth, or will you be swept away by the current? The time to act is now. I encourage you to dig deeper into the scriptures and seek understanding. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think the next steps will be? Who do you believe will rise as the leader? Stay alert, stay informed, and remember, we are all part of this epic narrative. Together, let's uncover what lies ahead and prepare for what's to come. The journey has just begun.